So we're here to solve the smash sums for August 3rd, 2021. The theme is across the top, and the theme highlights 3 good smash sums clue digits. The 1 and 2 are small, and they're always going to have a single digit, the 1 or 2, between the black squares. The 8 is large, and in this case means the 2 is always absent from the space between the black squares, and 1 plus 3 plus 4 is what's in the middle. One thing that does, which is probably the easiest observation, is it's going to mean that these 2 middle cells in rows 3 and 4 are going to contain digits. But the other extreme is that in this upper left and lower right, lower left cell, we have to place a 2. Either the 2 is here or the 2 is here. And the break-in for this puzzle is to note something about a 6 sum. And a 6 sum has 2 ways it can go. It has to leave 4 total outside of the black squares. So it's going to leave a 4 outside of the black squares and have 1 plus 2 plus 3. Or it's going to leave 1 plus 3 equals 4 outside the black squares and have 2 plus 4 equals 6 in the middle. What you'll catch is across those 2 options, the digit 2 is always within the black squares. And if the digit 2 is always within the black squares, then this cell cannot contain a 2. If it contained a 2, it's not within black. And so where there are 2 options at the start for how the 8 puts a 2 up top or at the bottom, the only one that works is putting a 2 at the bottom so that the 2 can still be within the black squares in the top. So this is the first break-in by having 2 dodge this bad space for a 2. We're now going to see thematically that this bottom row now interacts with this 1 clue in the same way. So after we place this digit 2 outside of the black squares, we now know for sure that 3 plus 4 is what's within black in the space, and the cell will always be white. And what we have is a case where either these 2 are black and a 1 is over here, or these 2 are black and a 1 is in this cell. And so we have to place a 1 in the extremes that are in white, and a 1 placed in this cell would cause an issue in this column because the 1 can't then be within black. And so in the same way we avoided this cell to place a 2, we avoided this cell to place a 1. So I was trying to get the same theme logically in 2 spots of the grid. That now leads to some pretty quick progress. The 1 has to come in here. In marking those in, we can now move over a column. See, for instance, that this 4 means this cell is a digit for sure. It's going to be a 1 or 3 to come across, or the digit 4 on its own. We now can move to this space and see that this 2 needs to have 2 black cells, 1 space removed, so this cell is always black. And looking at the notes we put into the grid, the 2 can't come down here because there's no option for a 2 in this cell. The 2 has to come up here. So this is the 2. In marking those in, the 6 row for sure now is 1 plus 2 plus 3, leaves behind a 4 here, puts in 3 and 2. This column is pretty full. At least the digit 1 can only go in the space. And so marking that in with 3, 4 left over, we get that this for sure is 3 coming across, which finishes out these digits. This is going to be shaded in. Where we had 2, 4 left to place, the 2 below forces that in. This has 3 and 1 to place, and the 3 to the right completes that out. Between these shaded cells will have to be a 3. This is where the last 3 goes in the grid. We have 1, 2, 4 to place with a 2 in this row, but it can't be here. We have 1 to still place in this column. That's going to have to come to the top. These remaining cells are blackened. This is not blackened. This is blackened. Now we're just filling in the remaining digits 4, 1, and 4. And we finish this grid. So some pretty interesting steps at the start, at least from my perspective, whereas trying to have an 8 and a 6 clue intersect to avoid this cell for a 2. Having done that, the same thematic thinking would work in the bottom, where we have to place a 1 in the extremes of these 5 cells. The 1 can go here but can't go there, and that gets you through the grid. And then, as you saw, was chipping away at the outside clues at where black cells can go, and then thinking about digits in the middle, particularly like this cell here that can't be a 2 because of the sum to the left forces the 2 to go above. So, 3 dominoes to fall to get the whole puzzle to solve, but hopefully interesting logical steps you encountered on your own or learned through this video. So I hope you enjoyed the puzzle, and we'll see you again soon.